Doing this little circle thing. Okay, we are live on everything except for Instagram. Welcome to Levels Without Limits. My name is Amanda Marino. I am your host. I'm just kind of waiting on Instagram because it's tricky. Oh, it's working now. Likes to give me a little trouble sometimes. So we are live on all kinds of platforms. I'd say everything but TikTok, and then whatever else is new that we're still learning about. But we are live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. And I'm the owner of Next Level Recovery Associates. I have Amanda Marino Speaks, which includes coaching, business consulting, and retreats coming up soon. So I had the pleasure of meeting this fine gentleman. Look at him go with his red glasses and tie match in Dubai. And there actually are a number of people that I met in Dubai that I want to interview on my live, but you are the first. So,
well, thank you, Amanda.
Yeah. So introduce yourself. Say hello. Tell people about you, what you're about, who you are.
My name is Paul William Barrett Sr., and I'm the chairman and CEO of Barrett Enterprises, headquartered out of Indianapolis, Indiana. If I were to describe myself, I'm a serial entrepreneur, possibility thought leader, and I just believe that all things are possible. And I work in the space of assisting people to break the gravitational pull of impossibility.
Yes, I love that. I mean, I love that that title. You know, it's because levels without limits, right? That's what we want to talk about. How are we breaking our limits, right? So escaping the gravitational pull of impossibility. It's a killer topic. Because when people ask me things like, how have you done this? Like, how do you go do these things? And honestly, I don't feel like there's anything magical that I have that others don't, except for I have the fear and I do it anyways.
Right. That's awesome. That's one of the things I talk about. Fear is disguised in most cases as realism. And if people stay in the space of what they believe is real, they never discover what's possible.
Yeah. And safety, you know, so many people crave safety, right? And safety can be an illusion, you know. With like, we'll talk about like what's going on, like relationships, you know, an unhealthy relationship that you feel comfortable in just because it's what you know, or a job where you're treated poorly by your management and leadership. Like, and it's really big in the corporate space now. I think we're doing a lot better. Like, there's change makers like yourself and mine that are kind of disruptors to our fields, where we're treating people good and we're trying to be, you know, better people, make the world a better place, unlike, you know, just greedy trying to rake in the cash.
Right. Well, I mean, I have this philosophy that if we are out there actually causing transformation, then the money comes. You don't have to chase the money. What you want to create is the space for people to see what's possible for themselves. And the greatest asset we have on the planet is our human capital, the ability to connect in relationships which are priceless.
And I know that you're a pastor as well, so I'm going to say amen to that.
Thank you.
So let's talk about our meeting. So we met in Dubai, and then I want to get into your topic. So we met in Dubai. You know, you kind of stand out. We both stood out. Let's be honest. I had white hair, and you had red glasses, and I think you had a red outfit on.
Yes. I had a red jacket on one day. Yes, I did. Yes.
So my topic was it changed so many times, so I have to remember. It was about failing forward and using setbacks into helping you propel forward. And you know, I kept seeing this man in the audience doing this, and I'm like, okay. Yes. You never know if you're resonating with your audience. So when you see heads shaking and you see people like this, you know, but this one, he was into it. He was feeling it. I was like, you were my momentum to like keep going, you know. So thank
you. I didn't realize that, and thank you. I mean, I align with everything you said. And the fact of the matter is, we rarely get a chance to be on a global stage to impact so many people around the world. And I thought it was important if somebody is saying something that I concur with, that I let them know. And so, I mean, it was easy to be connected with you.
Thank you. Yeah, you were. It was just, it helps. It helps because, if you ever, I don't know if you ever spoke to like a room where just everyone's kind of like this
Yes.
phone, and you're like, damn, like it's like hard. You don't get the vibe, same vibe. But if you have people that are like, feeling you, and you can, they're shaking their heads, and they're like, wanting to raise their hands and stuff like that, then you know that you've connected with your room. You're in your right room.
Yes, yes. And for me, I don't know about you. I gave a keynote on Monday,
Hmm.
and I was experiencing that same thing, whether or not people were vibing with what I was sharing,
They
and
were.
and I couldn't really tell. And but then the feedback I got afterwards was phenomenal. So yes, yes, I can relate. And I always want to make sure that if someone's giving a keynote or giving an address, then they at least know that there's one person that get it.
Yeah, that's important. See, that's your giving mentality, right? Showing
Yeah,
up and giving back. And I was so tired. I didn't sleep the night before, so like I wasn't ready. I was ready. I was like, I'll do the speech, and then I'll go nap. And that just when you know how it is after you're done. That
yeah,
doesn't happen. Everyone wants to talk to you, and it's like then I was like completely drained, and then I was like, okay, now I'm going to take a nap.
yes, and I can relate to that. Being in ministry for over 45 years, and I've been giving keynotes for 20, 30 years as well. I'm exhausted. I'm wiped out, and so I can relate.
Yeah, it's given a little pouring your especially if you're vulnerable, which you and I are both kind of wear everything on the sleeve. When you're vulnerable, you're also putting a piece of yourself out there, which does take another level of, emotional, from the heart.
Yes, yes.
Well,
But getting that rest and being able to relax, and then when we went on the cruise ship, be authentically ourselves, and that was powerful.
yeah, it was a beautiful evening after I did take a nap before that around Dubai. Yeah, and just I know both of us were under the weather yesterday. I'm still fighting it a little bit, so I'm glad that we both made a commitment to still be here today because I did cancel a number of things just because I can't do everything, right? But I'm trying to nourish. It feels like everyone I know that traveled got sick through the holidays.
Yes, they did.
Like,
So Dr. Jones, who was with me, she got sick when she got back, and yeah, it's a few of us, and I think it was a global thing.
yeah, yeah. So this is my business partner, Sarah. She said, "Hi, Paul. I like your style."
Oh, thank you, sir.
Um, so the gravitational pull of impossibility. Tell me about that.
So I'm a fan of space. I can remember when we landed on the moon. I was up early in the morning, and I've been a fan of all of that. And one of the things I discovered is, and then I've actually witnessed a space launch just to see how that works. And I was always fascinated about why do they have so many rockets? And what we discovered is that the gravitational pull on the Earth, the Earth's gravity, is what keep us all on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to get to a certain velocity. It's called escape velocity to escape the gravitational pull of Earth.
Yes.
If you go any slower than 25,000 miles per hour, the gravity will pull you back to Earth. And it's out of that concept I came up with the phrase escaping the gravitational pull of impossibility. There are
Mm,
people that get inspired, they get this moment of inspiration, but then they get pulled back to what's impossible because they're not moving with velocity.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
So much.
that's
I love a
that,
bit. I love a good visual too.
yeah, so that's the chapter in my book that you inspired me to get completed. I'm in the first draft of it, and the book is entitled The Power of Possibility. And there's a chapter in the book where I talk about escaping the gravitational pull of impossibility. And so what people do, they get excited, and then they hit resistance. And then that resistance turns in, well, I shouldn't be doing this, or they give up, or it turns into fear, or it turns into comfort. You want to stay comfortable. and then we don't do anything. And the idea of this concept is if we're going to have levels without limits, we got to move with velocity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I know that when I left my last job, that I worked for someone else, and at the end of the summer of 2019, and I had been building on the side, what I wanted to do, and was working for, other companies that kind of were similar to what I own now. And I was learning and training and kind of doing all the things. And I really wanted to stay like through the new year, as a family, to be smart, as a mom. And I got to that point where I was like, I literally can't do it anymore. Like, I need to go now. And I was scared. I trusted my gut, but, and then the pandemic came,
Wow.
and you know what? It was the biggest blessing, because I told you, like, people from all around the world ended up knowing who I was because of the online world. I had to lean into more. And so it worked. I remember like saying to myself, what's my worst option here? I have to go get another job. Is that bad? And so if people really weigh out their worst option, like if this doesn't work, if this idea I have and this business I want to build, if this doesn't work, I have to get another job. It's not so bad.
Yeah. It may not be bad, and it may be the very thing you don't want to do.
No, I don't want it, but I'm saying like that's not going to stop. Like the thing, it's not logical a lot of times why people stop themselves from going after their dreams. Everybody out there has a dream and a great idea that they don't go after because of that gravitational pull, right?
Yes. It was several things that happened. One is that you want to be safe, so comfort and familiarity is safe. And then you're listening to voices around you, and sometimes those are the worst voices to listen to. And I call those, some of those people, dream busters. These are the people, and they're usually the people closest to you.
Oh my God, let's talk about that more, because that was such a big thing for me, and nobody warned me.
Yes. So dream busters.
I wish somebody would have been like, "Hey, Amanda, watch your circle right now, and don't go to them for any of your ideas, because they're going to try and tell you not to do it. And once you do it and you do it right, they're not going to be with you." Like, I wish someone had told me, because I got heartbroken. I thought everybody would be happy for me and want to come with me, and that's not the truth.
So I've just experienced that just recently because of the trip to Dubai. Part of what happened is that I was on the Times Square billboard on January the 3rd all day, every 48 minutes. And I'm sharing this with people. And I'm had people say, well, what did you do to get that? It was like not happy. And I said, okay. And then I almost stopped sharing.
No, don't stop sharing, honey.
And then I said, wait a minute. I'm caught in the gravitational pull of impossibility. No, we got to keep sharing and keep sharing and keep sharing. And there's another chapter in the book which actually ties to this, is that we're only one conversation away. Think about it. I was in your keynote address and I was getting with what you said. And then you say, who is willing to make a commitment to do something in 7 days that they've not done? And I raise my hand and say, yes. Out of me taking that action, here we are connected. One conversation away, one ideal away, one action away from a breakthrough of impossibility.
Yeah. So if I'm going to share, so Paul came up to the microphone, because at the end, some people raised their hands of like what they would do and that they were going to commit to doing in the next week, that they've been kind of putting off. And Paul said, I am 90% done with my book. I'm going to finish my book. And then he messaged me the other day as we were planning this, and he goes, hey, just so you know, I finished that book.
Yeah.
So you did it. And that made me feel like that made me feel so good. So so proud of you. So happy, I got to meet your whole family. But just to see like that you made that goal and you did it. And what was holding you back from that last chapter?
Well, the language, the fear,
the gravitational pull,
the gravitational pull of comfort. What if people don't like it? who cares? Who
Amen.
cares if they don't like it? There, but what 8.7 billion people? You think I can't get 100,000 people to align with what I'm talking about?
I'm sure you
And it's the ideal of not listening to the naysayers. And I'm looking at the voices, our past experience, fear,
do. Yeah.
disguised as realism, comfort. We mistake comfort for peace, being peace, safe, like you said, safe. Um, and it takes velocity to move. I had a meeting with my team at the end of the year, the first of this year, and one of the things that we talked about is that in space, if you ever watch the space line,
Mm-hmm.
they would say, Houston would say, we're 135 into the launch, reaching max Q.
Yes.
And what max Q is the time where they had to throttle back because the pressure on the vehicle is so intense that it could break up. And
Explode.
we've seen that happen before. A
Yeah.
little O-ring caused an explosion. So you pull back just a little bit so you can make sure you take the pressure, because the faster you moving out of the gravitational pull, the more pressure it is. So for me, I had the drive done, but then I felt that pressure. Oh, it's not going to be good. Nobody's going to like it. They're going to have something to say. Who are you? Who do
Yeah.
you think you are? And of course, most people suffer from this. I won't tell nobody, but don't tell nobody. I said the imposter syndrome. Do I really have something to say?
Yeah. I think we all do in some form or another. I definitely have gone through some, like when I did the TEDx, I was fine with the whole process of like working towards it, building it, writing it, pitching it, like that whole process. And then when it came to when it was about to come out on YouTube, I literally refused to watch it. I was like, can we make it go away now?
Yeah, yeah. It's like that fear that gets in the way, and that self doubt. But
Yeah.
now in the
I wanted to hide. I just wanted to hide. I didn't want to see. I made other people watch it before me.
yeah,
Um, because it felt so raw and vulnerable. And I was like, what if I ever, it's hate. I know everyone hates it. And it's so raw and so vulnerable. And like, and then finally, once a couple people watched it and said, Amanda, you need to stop. Watch it.
right.
And
Well,
I was like, okay. And then
it's like it's like your keynote address in Dubai. You got done, and you literally had to stop people from talking to you so you could go lay down, because everybody wanted to connect with you after your keynote.
yeah,
I had people walking up to me saying, "Oh my God, that was extraordinary. It was not boring." And even one guy from Switzerland said, "I thought you were getting ready to preach." So that was funny to me. So sometimes our worst enemy is the voices in our head. We listen to these voices that never tell us anything great. So I practice a little thing, tell little Paul to go play. Big Paul got this.
yeah, exactly. And that's the truth. I mean, and that's the difference, but I think like we said at the beginning, like you and I versus those who don't finish that last chapter of the book, or those who don't watch the TED Talk and share it with people. It's like we have those thoughts, we have those feelings, we have those fears, we have those voices, but we push through it anyways.
Yeah.
And
That's that's escaping that gravitational pull.
yes,
Moving with the velocity. Don't worry about the naysayers. And whatever happens, happens. And closing the back door saying, if it doesn't work, I got this to fall back on. No, closing the back door. So we got to get to the point of no return. That
Amen.
we're moving with a velocity. And the key part, Amanda, is that once we escape the gravitational pull, we can move from point A to point B with little effort.
Yeah.
Once you get into space, it takes little effort to get from one point to another.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like once I realized I had a powerful manifester, which manifesting is like, one part of it, right? Seeing it, believing it, knowing it's possible for you. And then you have to do the footwork, right? It doesn't just magically happen. But like, I realize like, and I just now own it. Like if I want to do something, I really want to do something and I do the right steps to get it, to go after it. Maybe I'll fall a few times. Maybe things won't work the way I planned. And then, boom, then it happens. And that's happened for me every time. So people are like, how you I just do it. And I believe I can do it.
So one of the things that you pointed to that people are afraid of moving, taking action, is the fear of failure. But failure is the place you get to discover.
Amen.
I mean, when you think about Benjamin Franklin, how many times he failed to discover light, the light bulb. And when you think about the Wright brothers, they were not the only ones that were trying to fly. They were the first one. People were failing and failing and failing. Alexander Graham Bell accidentally discovered the telephone because acid got thrown on him. Everybody was failing. And what I do in the coaching that I have when I'm talking to clients is, well, failure is your greatest friend. You want to fail forward because you discover what doesn't work and you keep discovering.
Yeah. I mean, when you're in it, listen, when you're in it, it's not fun. It feels like, but once you've gone through so much and you've tried so many times and you've failed so many times and you've succeeded so many times, you know that once you get through that darkness and that ickiness of that failure, that magic comes out of that. If you continue to push forward. If you don't,
yeah, and I don't want people to get that it's not realistic to have all these things. I prepared my keynote, and in my life, I probably only used the manuscript probably 10 to 12 times in my entire life because I'm extemporaneous.
You come from the heart.
Yes, I come from the heart. And then, but here, I wanted to make sure I got my point. So I had this 2 days before, I'm bawling like a baby. I'm going over the manuscript and I'm talking about my story and I'm just bawling. Everybody else is asleep, but I'm bawling. So I go down to the restaurant and I'm sitting at the table down in the restaurant at our hotel and I'm bawling. I'm just crying and they're looking at me. And I called my COO back here in the States and he said, man, you just make me emotional. I'm not doing that. I'm getting it all out of my system. But that's part of failing forward. The fear, the being vulnerable, all of that. People want authentic. They want you to be authentic. They don't want you to be polished. They want you to be authentic where they can connect and relate to you.
And I believe that men who cry are some of the most strong, powerful men out there. I mean, I think that crying is a natural emotion. It's a healthy outlet, right? Because it's going to come out some way. So if you don't cry it out, work it out, whatever it out, it's going to come out in ugly directions, right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say hi, B from the conference, said two of my favorite people right there.
Hi, B. Thank you, B. I'm so emotional. There's the movie Phenomenal. And every time I watch it, I cry every time at the same spot. And I've watched this movie probably 30, 40 times, and I'm still crying every time I see it. And I was sitting with a friend, and she said, the movie just started and you're crying already. I said, be quiet. I'm going to experience this.
You know the singer Adele, right? Adele.
Yeah. Say that again.
The singer Adele.
Yes, Adele. Yes.
I went to her show in Vegas. I have goosebumps. All she did was come out and say, hello, waterworks. Hello. That's it. She said hello. My man caught it on video. And I'm singing the whole entire song, just bawling, but like not in a sad way, and a feeling like all the things I felt with all of her music, all of like she said hello. That was it. She didn't have to say anything.
Right. So I think that's why we connected, because we don't mind sharing our emotions. As we pointed out while we was on the cruise, they talked about the cruise by us having been authentically having fun. That's the most fun they've had ever. And that's because we got an opportunity just to be authentically ourselves. That's the most.
Let's tell you, Mr. Paul can drop it like it's hot.
Right. Yes.
And mine hurt the next day, but yours somehow didn't.
Yeah, well, my knees were hurting later.
Okay, now there's some honesty coming out. Because the next day, I'm fine. I'm like, How are you fine? Because I'm not. I'm like,
Right. And one of the things that I got out of being there, just talking about escaping the gravitational pull of impossibility, levels without limits, is I put in the application to begin to do business in Dubai while I was there.
I love that. I did hear that. Did you share it with
And
me?
on,
It's
and on
amazing.
December 31st, I got the email that said that we were approved, and so now I got to go back in February to do the physicals and stuff like that. So
Awesome.
I mean, so then my daughter told me, said, New Year's Eve now is new now. That would be the anniversary of us starting to do business in Dubai.
Yeah.
What a creation!
And did you see how they did New Year's? I saw some videos. They do New Year's like on another level.
Oh wow! No,
Videos and pictures of them. You should see how Dubai does New Year's Eve. You should be there next year.
okay, all right. I will have to do that.
Yeah. So what are you guys going to be doing? What is your tell for those? So we've talked about like a lot of stuff that's like us. Like tell us about your business and what you're going to be doing expanding in Dubai.
So Barrett Enterprise has 4 launch pads. We have consulting, which I've been doing over 40 years, and that's assisting nonprofits with grant writing, getting grants, grant management, being a fiscal agent, helping small businesses get capital acquisition, doing some coaching, and now we diversified into federal contracting. So that's one launch pad is the consulting, building bridges to prosperity, connecting people to resources. That's
Mhm.
executive management. The second launch pad is real estate development, building sustainable communities where people live, work, and play while leaving legacies for their children and their children's children. So we just started that. And so we're not going to be doing that in Dubai, but that's
Right.
one of the businesses.
One part.
We're going to come back to that next year because it takes a little bit more to do the real estate development in Dubai. The
Yes.
third one is media. So we have MBG Media, named after my grandmother, Nina Bain Gibson. And
Oh,
under that, we have two businesses. One is Creating Possibility Television Network, is a streaming television channel, which Isaiah, who you met, is the president of. And
nice.
matter of fact, he turns 21 this month. And so he's already in the space of creating a legacy for himself. And that's why we were doing some of the videotaping.
No, I missed it. I couldn't make it.
Yeah, so we're gonna have you on. We're gonna have you on the drums,
Okay.
and,
Coming.
and that's our streaming service. And we actually have space on the channel for anybody that wants to be on the big screen for little cost, and it's not gonna cost as much money if you was on another channel. And then the under the
I like being on camera. Just saying.
okay, all right, we'll talk about that.
Since I was 4 years old. That's why I was in acting and modeling when I was younger because my mom said she couldn't not put me in it because like at 4 years old I was jumping on stages and like trying to take over the show.
Oh, okay,
And so
okay.
she got me into modeling and acting when I was young, and then I did that till about 22, and then back in TV with the show Intervention and some docu series, Digital Addiction on A&E Network because like I've always been good with camera. The only thing that was hard for me to get used to was talking to my phone, like making my own video with my phone.
Right.
And I understand why people struggle with that. Like even as someone that was in front of cameras and crews my whole life, I the talking to your phone thing, it takes time, but then you just get over yourself. Everyone's doing it. It's okay,
Well, you're natural, and as you could tell when we were talking about what questions is, I said, no, we're gonna do this organically. As
Yeah.
you can tell, I'm a natural for it.
Yeah.
And so it gives us the opportunity for people to get to tell a story that's not been told. And that's what the TV channel is about.
Mhm.
And then we have Beam Network, which is everybody has a Beam. So using AI, so we have Beam Labs, Beam Studios, and Beam Agency. So if you're a content creator, we want to protect your intellectual property and build money funnels so you can get paid. And so we assist you that with the marketing and creating those funnels. And then the fourth launch pad is our nonprofit that we started, and it's called Fortune 7 WG, Wealth Generation. And its purpose, its mission, it's one of those impossible missions, is to eradicate the economic inequality caused by systemic racism for people of color through entrepreneurship, creating multi-million-dollar businesses, leaving legacies for their children and their children's children. So we create an Odyssey mentoring program for entrepreneurs, giving them the spaces and the tools to be successful, and teaching them the language of money, talk about capital acquisition, and literally assisting them with elevating to limits, levels that they never thought were possible.
That's very beautiful. That one I'm going to give a hell yeah to.
Thank you. And what's funny, people say people of color, so is that restricted? So you're restricting people? I said, well, tell me who's people of color.
We're all colored.
Exactly.
I want to tell you something. This is just me. I will not write white on an application if they get there. If there's like, just because there's all these differentiating things.
Right.
I put other and I put European because
okay.
white isn't a culture and it's not a ethnic background, and it could be so many different things that I just refuse to check. It's just my one thing that annoys me on like applications of things. I won't ever do it.
Well, and then I have people attempt to remind me who I am. I say, I wake up every day. I know who I am. And
you're allowed to do whatever you want to do. If you want to do something more specifically African American population, you are allowed to do that.
Yeah, and then I say, and I wake up every day knowing I got a year around 10. Why do you need to remind me? And then they stop and say, what? I say, yeah.
Yeah, people don't realize that. I remember saying one time to a group of I was doing a tour when I was working for my last job, and I was with a number of African American men, and I said something that I thought was like okay to say, but it wasn't. I was like, well, I don't see color. Like I was never raised to see, like we're all the same. We're all, and they were like, Amanda, just because you don't, that doesn't mean that other people don't. And so you got to be careful how you say that. They were like, when your son turns 16 and starts driving, you don't have to teach your son the things we do. You know, I learned a lot of education on that from them. So
yeah, I was the branch president for the NAACP, and we actually had courses about don't move suddenly. I mean, we literally had to teach that. And then when I turned 18, I was so happy I was still alive. When I turned 25, I was so happy to be alive. And then I have grown sons that I celebrate every time they have a birthday. And people don't get the trauma that you experience by just happy to make it.
Which is wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love that you're doing that, and that you're going to help create generational wealth.
Yeah. So people by and large don't need assistance if they have the opportunity.
Yeah.
So you give people opportunity to create jobs, have a job that pays well, own a home, they'll take care of it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Yeah, it's so important. Like, you know, while I enjoy like the nice things in life, like I am not money. I think we talked about this earlier on, but I'm not money driven first. Like, of course, I'm not going to, you know, I'll answer any DM. I'll talk to anyone that needs help, but I've also been taken advantage of many times where people like see how much they can get for free. Right.
Right.
But I'm not like, I'll turn down like a very, very high end proposal or something or client. And just like, if it doesn't feel right and I don't think I can help, like I have no problem doing that. And by doing the next right thing all the time in business, I'm always abundant.
Yeah.
If I were one of those people that was like trying to hustle and trying to get the next buck, like it just doesn't feel right to me. And I'm also not scared of the word money. I used to think that I couldn't be spiritual and want to make revenue. And now I know that those things can coexist together, you know, that I can.
As a matter of fact, people don't know this, that if you check out the research, do a search in the scripture, Jesus talked about money more than he talked about salvation.
Wow.
And in 2 Corinthians, he talks about, Paul talks about to the church at Corinth about sowing with abundance. How can you assist somebody if you don't have it to give? So that's an oxymoron, not to create wealth so you can share with those that are less fortunate.
Yeah, that's been one of my greatest I want to say just real quick, I'd like to shout out to people that are commenting. Lynn Foreman said, "You both look great." Thank you so much, Lynn, for your
Thank
support
you,
and
man.
your kindness. Yeah, like I like, and like you sharing your picture of you on in Times Square, right? You're
Yeah,
not doing that to brag. You're doing that because, or to put making anyone else feel bad. That's their own shit, right? So
right.
you're doing that because you know where you've come from, and
Yes.
you're like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. Like when I went to South Africa and Kenya, this right before I went to Dubai, I brought my 13-year-old daughter, and I made it like in the program I help do some work for, called Freeman House in South Africa. Amazing mental health program. If you ever know anyone that needs mental health, substance abuse treatment, they're fantastic. But they were spoiling my daughter. And I'm like, no, whoa, I brought her to Africa because I wanted her to see some things, you know? And so I like looked around, I found an orphanage that a woman at the hotel knew. And we went and bought like a lot of money worth of groceries, got a lot of donations for clothing, like all this stuff. And me and my daughter and our friends went and brought it. And yes, I did share pictures of it because it's not about a showy thing. It's about, I come from living in the ghetto. I come from like having my car shot in front of my house, living on food stamps, living on government assistance, to a place now where I can travel to another country or do it in my neighborhood, which I also do locally, where I have the opportunity to give back. That's the biggest blessing.
Yes, I have somebody told me that I'm always telling people that I met 6 presidents. And she says, why do you do that? Why you say that all the time? What, are you trying to impress somebody? I said, well, no, I want people to understand that if I can come from the hood, live in the inner city, not with a silver spoon in my mouth, that you can accomplish and achieve anything you want.
Yes, they're missing the
Anything you
message.
want. Anything you want.
Yeah.
I said when I was a kid that I wanted to be on the billboard in Times Square, but I thought it was going to be for the Nobel Prize or doing, being president or something like that. Had no idea that I'll be there getting the Founders Award in Dubai. And then when I saw the way they put the video mantra together, I was not expecting all of that. Showing me giving the keynote, being on the panel, that was phenomenal. I would treasure that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, hey, listen, that's that little boy seeing that dream come true. And
Yeah,
honestly, I wouldn't tell that person anything ever again.
yeah, yeah,
Because they're not understanding. They're not understanding that. So that's one thing. The growing on your path of growing, leveling up in business and your personal life and your spiritual, all those things. There is a lonely time.
yes.
There's a lonely time until you find your people.
So I was on a call with a mentor on yesterday, and I sent him the video, and I was telling him that the more I accomplish, the lonelier it gets. And he said, so Paul, that means you have to change the room. And then he told me that he's in the bottom of the top 1% earners in the country. He said he's in the bottom. He said, I'm really struggling. I'm in the bottom, right? We were laughing about that. And then he said, sometimes you have to move to a different room.
Oh yeah, I've had to move
And
to a
then,
lot of different
and
rooms.
then when you move to that different room, of course, the cost of entry is higher, but the impact you get to make is even greater. And
Absolutely.
so it's okay. It doesn't mean that you're better or bigger than anyone.
No, not at all.
And what you have to cause and what you want to elevate causes you to elevate, climbing a mountain with no top. Because
Yeah.
see, once I got to Dubai and we set up that new business, there's a new gap. So, and once I get to fill that gap, then a new gap occurs. So that's what we get to do. And when I heard that you was in the Philippines doing a TED talk, and you said to me, I'm gonna make sure you get a TED talk. I said, okay. I didn't argue with you, did I? I said, okay.
Yeah, no, you are. You
And,
need It's rocket stage. You got the red to match the red dot and everything. You got the whole thing kicking. You're ready.
So what I want people to get is that if you're looking for something, when it appears, you don't argue and say, are you for real? What I said to Amanda was, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't say, well, are you sure? Really? No. I said, okay.
Same. I'm the same. And this is the thing. I know you're just like me in this manner. When I grow, I bring people with me that want to come with me, right? I will lift anybody up. I will, if someone reaches out to me, I will lift them up. I will speak highly of them in rooms, but it's the people that don't want to grow, right? Or are scared of other people's shine. Like your shine and my shine together make a much brighter shine.
Yes.
It does not dim my shine. My shine does not dim your shine.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of, I mean, thankfully, in the past, I'd say 3 years, not one single person has come into my life that isn't 100% like shine and has like wants me to win, wants to connect, wants to see how we can work. Like I have not had one person step into my space that's not like that, because I claimed a few years ago that I was done with that I wasn't going to feel bad for growing, and I wasn't going to feel bad for making my dreams come true, because it was keeping me small. It was making me feel bad. I was feeling guilty for making my dreams come true and being providing better for my family. Like what is that one Biggie song? Think of it. They're like about, no, was it Biggie or Dre? Forgot about Dre. Okay. That I can finally provide for my family, like you're mad at me, you think I fell off. Like, no, I did it, but like I'm still the same person. I'm still me, but I just have more of a boundary, and I've loved just as hard, but I make people earn that love. I don't just give this stuff away. Like my therapist taught me that. She was like, don't give away to all the goods to everybody because they don't deserve it. And then you get hurt, because they're not like you.
Can I offer a different context? Not to say that you need to change it. I give it away. And what I discovered, this is my experience, may not be everybody, that love is so powerful when you give it with no condition. Totally. It either draws people or drive them away. There are people that don't want to be loved.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm saying I'm not going to give them all of me. Like I'll still show up with love. You saw how I show up. That's how I show up. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change me, but I'm not going to let you into my personal world. It's just, and it's been a painful journey, but now I feel like I feel very settled in trusting God, that whoever is meant to come into my life will, and whoever is meant to leave will. And I don't fight that anymore. I used to fight it.
Yes, I did too. I fought that too. Oh my God, no, I'm trying to hold on. No. See you next.
Like I'll cherish our time together in my heart forever. I'll never forget the times that we had that were good. Right. But I believe in who's meant to come in, who comes to me, and who leaves. It's my mother taught me that as a kid too. And I used to cry. I remember being like a little girl. She'd be like, if you can count your friends on one hand, you'll be, so great. And she's like, people come, some people are forever, some people it's reason, season, lifetime. And like that stuff used to kill me, because I want you to stay forever if you're in my heart. But no, I want you to stay forever in my heart if you're meant to, and you want the best for me and I want the best for you. And it's a mutual thing.
And one of the things you and I are a demonstration of, it doesn't take forever to create forever friends.
Yeah. I feel like I've known you forever.
Right. We met, and then we connected, and like we're connected for life.
Yes.
And there's no condition on it.
No.
There's no condition to authentically be connected. And I'm out here cheering, telling everybody, you gotta meet Amanda. You gotta meet Amanda.
Sarah are all about you. No, and listen, and now, as you're talking about your different businesses, I'm like, ooh, how can we collaborate on that? Ooh, how can we? That's where my little thinker goes, because she's very busy. My little thinker is very, very at work. So we could definitely have some other conversations after, but there's just so much we can do together. And I'd love to connect with your older son and reconnect with your older son again, because he was enjoying watching Dad tear up the dance floor and be the star of the show.
And when I went to do the interview, you'd already shared the video, and she said, Amanda just sent me the video. I said, oh my God, it's global already.
Well, I actually made them take some of them down. I was like,
Oh,
"Can you take some of them down?" I was like,
yeah,
"There's a couple you can keep up there. That's it."
right.
Because some of them just didn't. It just was like, we were having fun, but that's like we are professional,
Right.
So I want to keep it, like. And she's like, "Oh, you have access to the link with your pictures in it." I was like, "Okay, cool."
Okay. Yeah, but we were having fun, not realizing we leveled up everybody else.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, literally, this was organic.
We were in a vortex.
Yeah. We created opportunity, and the next day they all came up to me and said, "Oh my God, we've never had this much fun." That's the people that come every year.
I
And
love
I
it.
said,
I love that
wow,
we foster that and create that with people.
yes.
Definitely, it was a beautiful experience for me. It was the tail end of a lot of travel in such a short time. So going, if I were to do it again, I would of course do it differently. Like this year, I got myself called the Big Ass Calendar. It's like the most gigantic calendar of the whole year. So you can color code things. So I have like travel here, events here, things for kids here. So, because I need to organize better because, never have going to that many countries ever in my life or any of those places, but doing it from September to December was amazing. But it was
How many
also
places did you go in from September to December?
Philippines, Thailand. Those I went together. Okay. Came home. Oh, we went to Bangkok and Chiang Mai. We were gone for 2 weeks, me and my son. And then I came home. And then my daughter and I, a month and a half later, did South Africa for a week and Kenya for a week. We went to Mombasa and Nairobi. And then I came home for 3 weeks and came to Dubai.
That's 8 countries.
Very far ones.
Yes. And what's funny, when you were talking about the Philippines, I said, oh yeah, I went to the Philippines. I was in Dubai. In Davao in the Philippines. And that's when I did a one-day revival to 8,700 people.
Yeah.
And that says Philippines. So we got a chance to connect. And then I said, oh, there's some other places on my bucket list. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no, not listen. I was not planned that way, but it was like if I could, of course, I wouldn't change a thing. It was meant to be how it was meant to be. Moving forward, I need to do more intentional space between travel because I'm not a good comeback person. When I come home, I am a mess. I am moody. My poor man, my poor kids. Like I am not. Especially when we conferenced hard. Like we were from morning to night. And like I haven't conferenced hard in a while. Like I tend to do things that are other things outside conferences for my business, unless I'm the speaker and things like that. But like that took a lot out of me. My voice, I had no voice from talking too much. And then you get over like you're talking about yourself. You're like, I don't really want to talk about myself anymore. Tell me about you.
Right.
I'm over myself. So if someone wants to find you, Paul, how can they find you? Where do they go? Say they were inspired by something by you today and they want to reach out. They either want to work with one of your companies or they want to connect with you. How do they do that?
Well, there's 2 things I do. I'm probably one of the weirdest people in the world because I actually publish my phone number on my Facebook account.
Same. Mine's everywhere.
So they can reach me by calling me directly at 317-341-3458. Just tell me that you saw me with Amanda, then I'll know who you are. 317-341-3458. Or they can reach out at Barrett Enterprise Inc.com on the website or my email address. But the easiest way is to call me 317-341-3458.
So I have to go in LinkedIn. I have a bunch of people that have tried to like connect with me since the conference. And I tried to accept a bunch of people from my phone. And I noticed that we weren't first when I tagged you on the post. So I have to go through on my laptop and like go through it and
LinkedIn is another way. Paul William Barrett Sr. Or at Instagram at Paul William Barrett Sr.
Yeah. So we and I'm gonna put out there, I'm gonna manifest us doing a joint presentation on a big stage.
Oh yes, let's do that. See, you manifest, I declare. We
Okay.
could do the combination of that, and let's
And
make it
that's
so.
powerful stuff.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I am so moved by who you are and what you do in the world.
Thank
And
you.
you are a demonstration of levels without limits.
You are too, my friend. And I, you know,
Can we elevate in such a way that we bring millions of people along into a space they never thought was possible this year?
yes, that will be my intention for 2026 and my prayer for the world. I hope that people can feel this vibrant life that comes out of you. You know, feel the bravery to get up and raise your hand and come up and talk on a microphone and say that I'm going to finish my book that's 90% done and complete it. So I'm starting my book. I've written my manuscript, so I now I'm trying to work on the next parts of like agent and things like that. I definitely am someone who needs a little assistance with it. So I know that I know my skill sets, and one of them isn't sitting still and writing.
Well, we could talk about how that works.
Yeah, give me some guidance. I mean, all my friends that have written books, I definitely am reaching out to all of them. But I decided to do the TEDx first and then the book. My brain couldn't wrap my mind around together. So in the TEDx world, it took me a long time to learn, so that's why like now I can teach people or show people, which I'm actually going to be putting together a mastermind to help people with that in the future. But I love your energy. I love the light and joy you bring to the world. I love your explanation of the gravitational pull, actually relating it to space, because I did not expect that. So that was really interesting. And you have, like your whole family was with you, your kids, you had your kid's mother who was lovely. Everyone was lovely, supportive, like such a supportive. And I have a very supportive co-parenting relationship as well. So it's beautiful to see that. And there needs to be more of that in this world.
Yes, yes. Thank you for who you are. And I just look forward to the opportunity for us to have other people level up and escape the gravitational pull of impossibility.
Yes to that. 2026, let this be your year that okay, well, we're going to end with my question from the from the speech. What will you do in this next week to start to go after something you've wanted to go after for a very long time? Put it in the comments. Paul and I are going to hold you accountable. So I want to hear from you. What is something that you've been putting off that you're going to either start or complete in the next week? All right. With that, thank you for joining Levels Without Limits. I am Amanda Marino, and this is my dear friend,
Paul William Barrett Sr.
All right. Have a beautiful, beautiful day and Happy New Year to everyone. Stay
Happy
on,
New
Paul.
Year.
End it, but stay on for a second.